Hi everyone, welcome to Naukri Learning. My name is Piyush Bansal and I am Chartered Accountant by profession, and welcome to the sessions on career opportunities in accounting and finance. So this is all about like where we can land into, which industry, which domain, where exactly you want to pursue your career into, which obviously you can enter after qualifying your professional degrees like CA, CS, CMA, CPA, CFA, any relevant course or a professional degree which you are pursuing as part of a professional career. Okay, so speaking about me, so how does we will be taking up this short lecture or short slides is basically like, first I'll speak about myself, and then I'll start with various various opportunities, various in teaching, in job opportunities in CA professions, CA industry, CA firms, etc. So let's start with myself. Myself, Piyush. I am a chartered accountant by profession. I qualified in 2017, and I did my bachelor's of commerce in from Delhi University into in from Shahid Bhagat Singh College in 2013, and then I joined Barclays as as a financial controller, as my first job, which is very important or a lovable job you do in Chennai. And I joined there as a financial controller into legal entities of Barclays. And obviously, before qualifying for CA, even I had a experience of exposure of industrial training into Goldman Sachs, which I believe is very important. If any time you get a chance to go for industrial training, definitely go for it. Never miss a chance for any work or any firm you into, because you will get an edge as compared to or from other individuals who are always into CA firm. As for example, when I got a chance to work for Goldman Sachs, even my experience was not that good. I was much on a learning scale, so I was never experienced into Excel or PowerPoint. But given a chance, I have explored myself. How does industry works? How you can adjust yourself in an industry. So after qualifying CA, I got a chance to Barclays. That was within like 15 days. I was having my offer letter in my hand. So that's an edge you have, rather than waiting and going for campus placements and calling for individuals for your or calling individuals or your relatives that you want to apply somewhere. So that's something you will, or you get an edge, or that will help you out somewhere. So when I joined Barclays, it was in 2017. I worked for about 1.5 years, and then I got an opportunity to move back to Gurugram because it was very near to my place. So I joined PwC into statutory audit into pharmaceutical sector, and I worked for a very short duration because it was more of a traveling. So when you join an audit sector into India practice, it will give you a specialized degree, but it comes with a cost. Like you have a lot of traveling, you have to keep aside your personal relations and focus on your work stream. So I'm not saying it is bad, but some everything comes with a cost. So that was a cost for me, which I was not able to take it. So I joined Macquarie into employee benefits role, and as a financial controller. Then I worked for about 1.5 year or 2 years, and then I got a opportunity to move to new role into a treasury team, a liquidity reporting team, where I was on a very new thing, which was something I always imagined of doing something related to treasury. So I was looking after reporting of LCR, NSFR, that is called liquidity coverage ratio, net stable funding ratio, to APRA, directly reporting to APRA for the Macquarie financials. And then like currently I am into EY and working as assistant manager into global delivery services and in consulting domain, where I am also pursuing again that role. Like I am into liquidity transaction services for US entities. So that's pretty much about me. So I think that will help you out like what path you should follow in your career, like how should you go on. Obviously it is not a concrete or exhaustive path. Everybody have their own path, everybody have knows where you want to take your career into. It is not like कि मुझे इसी में जाना है यार, मुझे इसी में जाना है, और I want to follow what everybody is following. Everybody knows कि हाँ मुझे यही करना है. So that is something you should follow. Okay, so moving on. This is the first or a very basic, a teaching profession. I'm not saying this is like everybody want to do it, but some of the people do have interest in teaching. Like I always had a something in my back of mind, like I want to do something for the young people, young children who want to educate them by themselves, but they are not able to do due to lack of money or any XYZ reasons. So teaching profession is always I consider to be a noble profession, and a great thing that teaching is the profession that creates all other professionals. Okay, so you can excel your career by being a teacher, lecturer in school, universities, or colleges, and teaching individuals various subjects like accountancy, business studies, auditing, um, financial management, taxation, direct taxation, direct taxations. And nowadays we have been hearing a lot about digital currency, like how does this is to be accounted? Are these the virtual assets, or how the taxation impact is there? You might have recently heard about that we are taxing 30% on virtual assets. So a lot of things are there about digital currency also. You can make up your career in that also. I think it is very new in something innovative where people might or should put their hands on, because nobody or very less people are aware about digital currency. So this is one. And moving on, something which is very difficult for me to start off, or running a business, running a company. It is not like running a basic business, but any business I think requires a knowledge of basic knowledge of finance or accounts. Even if you're running a business of grocery, cosmetics, you need a basic knowledge, about tally. How does how accounting work? What is debit? What is credit? How to make your financial? How to make a balance sheet? So every basics of accounts of finance is required in business, any business. So speaking about the career, I think you can make your career in being a practicing chartered accountant, practicing company secretary, go for a secretarial audit, go for concurrent audit, and anything. You can be a portfolio manager also. You can be what say you can be into accounting services. You can be into compliance services, filling ROC form, filling any. I believe every subject which you have studied into your CA is a profession. For example, accounts. For example, tax, law, direct tax, indirect tax, ISCA. ISCA is obviously a very, vast, a very important emerging subject which is required in each and every domain. For example, artificial intelligence. We're talking about artificial intelligence. I have been into industry where I've seen that AI is taking over each and every aspect of work. So what people are doing in old days is not getting worked up now. So for example, if I something which I am passing journal entry, it is being posted by AI itself only. So you don't have to work on much on posting an entry, but rather than you have to work on analyzing something. So I will say that each and every subject which you are studying or have studied in your past is a career. Keep on tracking, keep on understanding what exactly you have studied in your past, or where you feel कि हाँ मुझे इसी में जाना है, or this is a career for me, this is something important for me, you know. So that's our own company. Moving on to next slide, where I'll talk about CA firms. For example, if you want to go into job, which is a third category. First was owning a company. No, first was teaching. Second was your own a company. Third is a job. Okay, so in the third segment, jobs. So if you want to go or join a CA firm, you have big fours like Deloitte, KPMG, EY, PwC, various CA firms are there, and it is not something like big four, but a mediocre firms also. Sahani Natarajan, okay. So many firms are Mohindra and Mohindra Puri are there. So any firm you want to join, you can, you have broadly, or it is not Again, it is not exhaustive. According to my understanding, my experience, broadly four categories are there: consulting, assurance, SAT, which is strategy and transaction, and taxation. First of all, consulting. I'll give a very layman example. You consult a doctor. You won't say that I assurance a doctor or I SAT or taxation. You consult a doctor, and consulting doctor gives you an advice. You know how to treat your any pain you have or something. So this is called consulting. Any it can be of anything. For example, I am into transaction services or liquidity risk services, so I am consulting a US client, you know on liquidity risk. It can be on anything, business dimensions, environment. It can be on risk, it can be on accounting services, anything you want to provide services on. Or because why clients approach you, because you are specialized into providing services. That's why I call consulting. Something you are specialized of, that is what called consulting services. Next is assurance. As we know that when a company prepare, or any organization prepare the financials, it has to be audited by an external auditor called statutory audit. That is called audit and assurance. It has to be submitted by independent auditor, big fours. There are secretarial audits also. So that is called audit and assurance, which everybody we might have heard about. SA 200, SA 201, 720. Many standards are there. I am not into that much into domain, because have chosen different paths for myself. So many domains are there, or many standards are there, which you need to learn of, or understand of, or memorize of, to apply or those standards in while auditing a company or an organization, anything. Third is your strategy and transaction. In strategy and transaction is basically something called a dream role, which everybody might have heard about when they were into CA finals or into CA IPCC, that I want to do mergers and acquisition. I want to join a company who want to look into strategies, joint ventures, disinvestment, reinvestment. So that is all about strategy and transaction. So basically, a great line I'll read out for you. A SAT is something which enable clients to navigate complexity by reimagining their ecosystem and reshaping the business and reinvesting themselves for better future. So something called strategizing a business, how a company should strategize a business, run a business, whether they should invest in Z business or not, Z sector or not, whether they'll be making a profit on investing something or not. So that is all about strategy, strategizing a business. That is called strategy and transactions. Next is your taxation. Everybody might have heard about the direct tax and indirect tax in the studies. So I think it is just a name taxation, but when you scroll further down onto granular level, you will see multiple taxations are there. It is not just a direct tax or indirect tax. It is like direct tax are further classified into five categories. Have you heard? Salary, BP, capital gains, other professions. So the multiple things are there. You cannot, expertise yourself in each and every segment, but you have to pick it up according to your expertise. That like, हाँ मुझे इसी में जाना है. I want to go for capital gains. I want to go for BP. So accordingly, unless until you are very exceptional individual. So pick up your career like. For example, if I talk about myself, I'm into jobs. So for me, salary is important because I'm not into practice or CFOs. I need to know, salary, how does taxation laws work for salary, so that I can save my tax. So that is important for me. So when you're into consulting, you need to know about key, what is BP, what is capital gain, what is business profession laws, what is other income laws. So accordingly, taxation is important. And again, in indirect tax, you have to know about GST, excise, and all. So that is all about indirect taxes. Okay. Next, where we can fit into industry. So if we are joining an industry, for example, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Barclays, any of the MNC banks. So these, how does you fit yourself? So let me just give you layman, how does MNC banks works in India? So they are those banks which do not have retail banking in India, for example, as compared to called SBI, PNB. So retail is something like you accept deposits, or you take the deposit, or you take the loans from bank. That is not something is being given approval by RBI to these banks. So they are just an investment bank, not investment bank. They are something called a back-end business, back-end companies, or a cost center set up in India for the business is for the business in Europe or US where their headquarters are being set up. Okay, accordingly you have to work for those line of businesses. So so when we drill down a domains wise, we'll see that there's a financial controller team, there's a product controller team, there's a cost analysis team. So what do you mean by product control? The name itself specifies product. Product means what banking products are like: debt, equity, your derivatives, your subordinate debts, anything. So for example, if I being a broker, I take a deal with any XYZ bank, Z individual that give me your money, and I can turn those money into 1.1 times or 1.2 times. Okay, so I being a broker for any bank, for example, say Macquarie. So I being a broker for Macquarie Bank, bring out the deal and take the money, and I give it to you and get some commissions. So I do not know how those money which is flowing into Macquarie Financial will be recorded in books. I just being a broker. So the role comes first is a product controller. So they see that how that money will be converted, how this money will be recorded in books, where you need to put that money in which subsidiaries of Macquarie, how what regulations are there, are we meeting liquidity constraints, capital liquidity ratio, every XYZ, are we meeting those data? Okay, so that's the role of product controller. Then comes with the role of financial controller. So financial controllers are somebody who maintain the subsidiaries of Macquarie. So if I talk about, I have Macquarie have, for example, hypothetically, or any company have, if I talk about JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley, for example, XYZ Bank has 100 subsidiaries. Okay, so how does each subsidiaries financial will be prepared? How does those meeting them into regulatory aspects? How does taxation works? How does group consolidation and financials are being prepared? So those are the roles of financial controller. So they are just somebody who have different tranches, like somebody is doing the work of consolidation, somebody is doing the work of taxation, somebody is doing the work of the accounting the journal entries, and somebody who's into regulatory reportings. So there are different streams into financial controllership. Next is your cost analysis. The cost analysis basically, somebody who is into forecasting, budgeting, financial planning and analysis. So if I talk about an individual or a company who needs to know that whether we are meeting our expectation, whether the cost center is required or not, whether this profit center is meeting so much money that they can bear the cost of cost centers. So everything is being considered over here in the cost analysis. So that's a broad aspect about industry, you know. And next is all about, I'm listing the list of organization. It is not again exhaustive list. It is just or summarized form where I've taken the top MNCs or top CA firm which you can always consider for yourself when you are applying for any of the organization: Deloitte, KPMG, EY, GT, BDO, RSM, Denodia, Loda, Lutra, and Goldman Sachs, Barclays, JP Morgan, D Shaw. So there are many industries. It is not again just one company. You have multiple options to explore yourself. Start exploring. But do not just apply bluntly. See yourself where you want to excel your career, where you are standing, what are your you know areas of specialization. So accordingly apply yourself. Just do not go for any of the organization. But I would say just one recommendation, that before, when you are qualified as chartered accountant and you're getting a call from campus placements, do apply, do go for that company. And do not see that, no, I want to apply somewhere else, and leave that chance of getting selected. Because when you are into your beginning stage, you don't have choices. Because start joining some company, and start learning those areas, unless you have a big offer, big choices to make. Otherwise, do not bluntly go for any, or reject yourself out. That's what I would say. So that's pretty much short summarize, summary about career opportunities. Hope you like it. Just do let me know with the feedbacks. Approach me, reach out to me on LinkedIn, email, which I mentioned over here. And in case you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer any doubts, anything, any suggestion, any feedback are welcome over here. Thank you.